Hi, this is Dave from DCB Plumbing and Heating, doing a tool talk review for expert trades. Today I'm going to be reviewing this brand new Baxi 600. This is actually the second 600 that I've fitted. I didn't want to do a review on the first one. You're just getting to know things, you don't really know how things work. It's nice to get into it and see what's going on the first time, and then on the second one you've got a rough idea what's going on, so you actually take a bit more notice of the goods, the bads, the what could maybe change, what couldn't get any better, shall we say. We'll dive straight in. We've got to take the case off. We've got a couple of screws just under here. Simple, very easy, no problems. I already pre-loosened them. And then we get into the meat of the boiler itself. This one isn't commissioned, this one isn't working. When it is working, I would like to say that it is very quiet. We've got some really good insulation and things on the inner case and good sealing. The actual baffle inside that draws the air in has a silencer built in, which again makes the fan noise really quite quiet. Stainless steel heat exchangers do normally have a little bit more noise to them than some of the aluminium ones, but this one you can't tell. First thing, unfortunately, we're going to have to say is a small little problem with it at the moment. I believe there's something might be done about this, but when you wire up the boiler itself, we have some very, very small magnets which go onto these two. If you just have a few wires just in the wrong place, you can't always push it back. There is a couple of tips for that one. One of the ones that I found is the pump lead. If you put it under the pressure valve, pressure gauges wire, and behind the gas valve wire, that stops it from dropping in front of the gas valve. That's one of the wires I found does do a lot of damage. The other one is when you pull it down, with this wire being quite short, the head of the diverter valve pulls forward. All you've got to do is push that back and push it up. It's not too much of a problem because obviously the case holds it there anyway. It's just something that there's a few wires often in the way, which just something to look out for when installing. Right, let's get to it. The main points I'd like to say about this boiler is, of course, the stainless steel heat exchanger now with a centre flue. You can't really go wrong. This is new Cool Touch technology, where if you go to Mrs. Miggins's house for, say, to service the boiler, it's a couple of 3 years old, you're going to be taking the burner out to check all the seals, make sure everything's intact and how it should be. She's had it on, you get there, it's warm. On old boilers, you wouldn't be able to undo your screws, get it out, because obviously everything would be too hot. Whereas in this case, it does get lukewarm, but lukewarm is all it gets. So that's a good little feature. Whether it's necessary or not, I don't suppose it really matters, but I think it's a good little feature to have just for us service guys. Big condense trap, making sure freezing up on the condense side's a lot less common than if you've got a tiny little trap just dripping a little bit of water out. So that's a good part of the boiler. There is, as you can see, very little in the way of plastics or anything like that inside this boiler. Everything you can see is copper pipework. You've got your brass hydro blocks. You've also got everything else in here is brass completely. All of the hydro block is brass, and all your pipes are copper. You can't really ask for much more than that, if I'm totally honest. Very easy to set up when you actually do get it running. Very easy to work with. Just having a couple of little dials on the front means that to get into the settings and stuff, it's fairly straightforward. Once you've done one, you've done it all, if you know what I mean. Right, we'll drop a little bit lower now at the moment. Something else I'd quite like to just add into there. When installing, it comes with a bracket instead of a jig. Into problem. I've moaned in the past that I like my jigs. I still do, of course. I do believe you can actually buy a jig for this boiler. So if you don't like the hanging bracket idea and you still want a pipe jig, you can buy one. I believe they're in the region of about £25–30. So we're not talking big money. So that's fantastic to know. We'll go down here. We have the new keyless, non-mess around filling loop, whatever you want to call it. It's very, very simple. It's just you pull the green little lever downwards and that lets the cold water into your central heating side. One little tiny problem with that is it goes into the centre and goes higher. When it goes higher, it is actually quite difficult to get into your cold top nut and the return central heating top nut. I haven't really found that a problem. If you just grease up the O-rings when you put it on, you can take the clips off, get it piped up, take the clips off, remove it, do your tightening up and pop it back on. To be honest, it's a minor inconvenience. It's something to maybe talk about, but it's not really an issue. If you're greasing them O-rings, that's going to slide off dead easy and slide back on dead easy. And that's what O-rings need, love and care. Again, we've got some great features. This one is absolutely fantastic. This is a drain point. The drain point being at the lowest point than anything else, that you're not worrying about, oh, can I drain it, getting water onto the circuit board. No, that's all gone. Bang, there it is. Turn your valves off. If you want to drain it, you can drain it. You're not thinking about where the actual drain point is and where water may or may not leak to. Fantastic idea, absolutely fantastic idea. I'm going to have to finish on a couple of things. One is another minor inconvenience, is the pressure release. Where the pipe comes for this pressure release pipe, it's quite high up and it's in the back. If you don't do that joint first, again, it's a minor inconvenience. I know some people do it last because it's not really as necessary to get the boiler up and running. And I've done it myself, is you leave that one till the very, very last point. On the old boilers, you didn't get it until you put the boiler on the wall. Obviously in this one, you're actually putting the boiler on the wall to start with. So that issue comes straight into play. But if you get that done first, you can easily get it tightened up. It's not an issue, it's just a talking point. It's great to have, obviously, your pressure test nipples on the gas side as well. Fantastic. The final thing I really want to say is it's very light. I think, personally, when you get your case back on, I think it's a pretty good looking boiler. It's very light, very easy to install. You've got the same fluing system that you've got with any Baxi that you install, the multi-flues. One small problem I do have with the multi-flue is the actual first one of these I fitted a couple of days ago was with what's called a plume management kit. The plume management kit gets dirty airs, your rubbish airs, away from windows, doors, patio areas, anywhere that might be of nuisance, let's put it that way. With the Baxi range of multi-flue, you have to buy a separate flue, which isn't a problem if you know you're going to need the flue to start with. My only issue with that would be if you install a boiler, it's higher than 2 meters, it's not in anybody's way, but next door neighbour complains, or it's nearish your door, and you think, oh, I don't really like the steam coming from the boiler's the flue, and you want to get it away from a particular place, you would have to re-buy a new flue. I believe you can buy ends for it, but it's very difficult to do. You've got to take out pop rivets and things like that, which on other manufacturers you can just literally install or take a little piece off because it's on O-rings or just a little screw. You take it off and then you can add it actually at a later date. Like I say, it's not a problem when you know you need it because you just buy that flue and bring that flue with you and fit it as normal. But if you are going to need one at a later date, obviously you wouldn't know you would need it. It's going to be awkward. Just a minor inconvenience again, because it's not very often that I would use a plume management kit. It's not always necessary. So it is just something maybe just for, again, it's a talking point rather than an actual problem. It's just something that could maybe be altered in the future. All in all, I think this is a fantastic new addition to the Baxi range. I'm actually quite proud to say that Baxi have possibly the best range of boilers going. The 200, the 400, the 600, the Duotech, the Platinum, the EcoBlue Combi Plus and the EcoBlue Advanced. That's just the Combi range, there's 7 there. All of them different, all of them fantastic boilers. Everything's been made of a high quality. So I'm a Baxi approved installer. If they carry on making boilers like this, I will still be a Baxi approved installer because this is definitely the way forward. The fact it's small, the fact it's light, the fact you can actually get the pipes up the back with no extra piping jigs or anything like that. Centre flue, this is the way forward. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Baxi for coming up with something like this. When you're designing your next one, get in touch. You know, I'm sure we could maybe sort a few things out if you need me to test anything. I'm cheap. You know, I don't cost too much. Maybe a hotel night and a couple of biscuits. I'm sure we'll sort something out. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that's been a good enough review. If you are a Baxi installer, I do recommend at least trying one, because what's to lose? What's to lose? The fantastic part of it is it's light, it's easy to install. There's not much else I can say, to be quite fair. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.